everyone, this is Rachel, and I have here an mini and I have here a mini album share of a traveler's notebook style mini album I made featuring a weekend trip to Boston. For me, Boston's just a couple hours away, and so because it's a traveler's notebook, I wanted to keep it, within reason of width. So I stuck to one kit where I used a mix of Amy Tangerine sketchbook paper, some Amy Tangerine Rise and Shine 6x6 paper pad, occasionally these thickers, 2 parts of washi tape, the Allie Edwards Week in the Life stamp that she released with her Week in the Life or Day in the Life, and then also a pink paisley roller stamp. Now, I had a friend named Erin who passed away after surgery, and her husband took a whole bunch of her supplies and sent it to a friend of mine before we had a crop, and we all shared parts of her scrapbooking stash before we donated the rest of it elsewhere. And so this sketchbook kit by Amy Tangerine is something I got from her. And so I actually don't know what it started as, but I assume she did some sort of 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12 album, because there were just absolute multitudes of like 2 by 12 inch or 1.5 by 12 inch pieces of paper that were all in a bag with full-size pieces of paper. So I just took all the scraps. I really didn't touch a full piece of paper, so I still have quite a bit of sketchbook left. And then I intermixed it with the 6x6 Rise and Shine. I also had some epoxy stickers from Rise and Shine. I used them all up in this layout. The sketchbook kit came with tags. It also came with die cuts. Now, like I said, I don't know if she actually bought it as a kit. Amy Tangerine's sketchbook came out in 2011. I looked at the paper. I didn't know that off the top of my head. And that's when I was on my scrapbook hiatus. I became ill in 2010, and then I did not scrapbook for 3 years. So 2010, 2011, and 2012, I started coming back to it in 2013. So I did not get sketchbook when it first came out. I was introduced to sketchbook a 1.5 years or so ago. Someone was destashing and I got some of it, and I just thought it was beautiful. So when I had the chance to inherit some of Erin's sketchbook supplies, I was super happy to do that. So, and then it also had stickers, and I used quite a bit of these. This is just what's left. So I tried to keep my embellishments to those that are flatter. I also, in her kit, were these Project Life cards, and then also some pieces that I actually have no idea where they come from, if they come from some of the sketchbook papers. Well, this I know came from sketchbook, but I don't know necessarily where all of this came from. And then these were mine. These 2 washi tapes. The one has gold stars, and the other thing has things that say like "Lucky me," "Let's do this," "Good times." So, and these are mine. And then also included in Erin's kit were kind of these half sheet papers or larger journaling cards, but they aren't Project Life. They're just, I don't know what they are. Once again, that could have come in a kit with the sketchbook stuff, or I have absolutely no idea. It all came in one of the larger bags. And then I also used these Dear Lizzie hardcover epoxy puffy sticker type alphas in this hot pink. And also in 2 spots in the album, I used the Simple Stories Snap Tile Alphabet stickers. Let me just put these away. I'm actually fully complete except for one final thing, so I want to be able to clean everything up. So I thought I would just finish up by, this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. It's actually the only 12 by 12 piece of paper I cut into, and I cut into it to do this, basically to provide a cover for my album. So this actually came with this. This is just one of those ones that came from Michael's. I bought a couple of them when they were on clearance. So that's what I'm planning on doing with it. This isn't the one I had originally for this. That one was black, but I was considering using the teal one instead. I really haven't made a final decision. So what I just did was I traced this is the wrong way. I traced the outside of my album and cut just outside. I probably should have left more room, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I've folded it down so I have a rough idea of where it goes, or where the bottom part will go. And I'm going to start off.
Okay, everyone, I decided to speed this up and just narrate through it. This took me a lot longer than I thought it would. The Tombow Mono adhesive I bought for this because I find it to be stickier than ATG off the bat was really messed up, so it really took a long time to do this. Basically, all I do is put a ton of adhesive on it because it is going to be flipped through, and then I trimmed around whatever was left over. I also used the branding strip from that piece of paper to just make a little extra decoration for the front. It says things like create memories and lovely stuff like that. Going back to real time.
Okay, so here we are with the absolutely completed one. Yay. I am going to have to go back and re-glue some things down just because that's what happened. But before I take a quick run through the album, I am going to just zoom you guys in so that way you can see it a little better, because it is smaller than a normal 12 by 12, so there's no need to be so wide. Okay. All right, yeah. So that shows you a little bit better, and I will just do my darndest to not move the book so I don't get you out of frame. So as I mentioned before, I am going to have to glue down these puffy stickers. I thought maybe because they were epoxy they'd be okay, but they're obviously not. And if I want them to stay, I will have to glue these down. So here is my opening page. I just have a bit of journaling about how we started. And what I did was all of the photos were taken on cell phones. And so I just used the metadata for that to get the exact time they were done. And using my Ali Edwards time date stamp, I took all the photos that are in here and I looked at the time they were done and I journaled according to them right when we got back. So I did all of this journaling in August of 2016. I had my photos, and then I asked my housemate and her son to send me any photos they liked. So this is a smooshing of my photos, my housemate's photos, and my nephew's photos. So I took a circle punch and I just punched out some of the pattern papers from the Rise and Shine 6x6 paper pad alongside the top and the bottom. Those are also from the Rise and Shine paper pad. And then the asterisks and the letters are from that hardcover font from American Crafts and Dear Lizzie. So here is where I do a mix of the letters from Simple Stories Snap And I just tried to give each page a slightly different look, but still coordinate it with everything. So, I matted some of all of my photos are printed on my Instax Share printer, and then I wrapped each of the bottom portion with this star washi tape. Now, I forgot I started to use this washi tape. I love this washi tape. Unfortunately, it's horrible. It sticks to itself so bad, I can barely ever use it. So I think I used it on the first page, maybe the second page, and then I stopped using it because I just couldn't do it anymore. So you'll see we started off very early. This is 7:44. At 7:44 in the morning, we're actually already in Boston. The reason we actually went to Boston that early is a coworker and a friend of mine was catching a flight in Boston, and I'm like, well, we're going up there. We could leave a couple hours early. It's no big deal. I'm up early anyways, and my housemate and my nephew can sleep. No biggie. So we drove her to the airport, and then we went on our day. So here I'm talking about eating breakfast, and the hotel we were staying at used to be a jail, and it was really cool. They had some of the original bars and brickwork and stuff like that. And like their restaurant was called the Clink, and it was very cute. So we had breakfast there because we went. For those of you who don't know, parking in Boston is like crazy, ridiculous expensive. I mean, just to park there can be like $50, and I'm not joking. Like just for the day can be like $50, and that's like to park it yourself. The hotel would park it if you were staying there. They would do valet for. It wasn't free, but it was cheaper than $50. That was the cheapest I was able to find it. That was anywhere near where we were going. Parking in Boston's at a premium. It's actually worse than parking in New York City, I don't even park in New York City because I take the train in. Anyways, sorry. So after we did that, we headed. Oh, so we were hanging out in the lobby, just kind of relaxing. We got coffee and tea, and every once in a while, every couple pages, I would take the thicker letters and do a word like fab or awesome, or just very simple words, just to add a little bit of depth and also to bring around that bright pink. Here's an example of some of the stickers that came with the sketchbook Amy Tan kit, alongside some of the tags and stuff like that. So this is the lobby of the hotel. This is a really cool chandelier they had, a selfie of us sitting on. They had these super awesome couches that kind of went around like a central they had plants in the center of it and stuff like that. So it was really nice. So our first stop is we headed to the New England Aquarium. So I did the word love here. And we had a very good time. New England Aquarium is interesting. It's not a large aquarium, but they have a really cool central tank where you spiral up the outside of it, and then all of the exhibits are on each level. So it's really cool. And on the first level is all these penguins, and it was feeding time, so we got to watch them being fed, and it's super interesting watching them do it. And they'll answer questions while they're doing it, which is nice. So now we have a huge aquarium, not super near us, but in the state with us at Mystic Aquarium. So it's not like we're unused to aquariums. And I grew up in Connecticut, so we went there on field trips all the time. But it was interesting seeing a different one. This is talking about that central tank where it had things going up. So it had like hammerhead sharks, and had some really awesome turtles, and we got to the top of the tank just as they were doing a talk about the turtles, and they were feeding them, and that was super cool. It was fun to watch. They also had a couple of octopi, and I don't know if you can see them. These are little glass jars, and there's actually an octopus in that glass jar. So here's one glass jar and here's another glass jar, and so there's actually an octopus that has smooshed himself inside that glass jar. So it was really cool. We went outside to the seal area and took some more selfies. And so you'll see I'm trying to, like, so in this page I did the 6x6 in the center with the stickers around. So then on this page I did the border of the black and white paper with the colorful elements. So I'm just trying to give a sense of, same trip, same line, but yet different depending on the page. So it was actually so ridiculously hot. We only stayed outside for about 15 minutes because we didn't even stay for the show. We watched them frolic in their pool for a while and we're like, nope, too hot. I'm sorry, I just realized I didn't mention on every page I used the Paige Evans date stamp roller, not date stamp, the roller stamp, and did a row of the hearts. Okay? And then this is one where I took 2 of the larger scraps of paper and I just did the full background. So a neutral one and then a darker one. And this is before we left the aquarium, we stopped at the manta ray tank. And they have like the touch tank so you can put your hand in, and they're like wet velvet. It's really cool. And then we went and saw this is an outside picture of the museum from the building that has their IMAX theater, and we saw a documentary about the Galapagos Islands, which was amazing. If you ever get a chance to see it, if it's on Netflix or anything like that, definitely suggest you watch it. It was very, very interesting, and it was great because I got to use these stickers that are tickets. This is one where this is a sticker, and I had originally journaled on the sticker, not realizing how not color safe it was, but I just took one of the tiny tags that came in the kit as well, and I added that because I did the exact same journaling on top, and I was super happy that the stamp managed to fit right on the tag. Yay. Okay, and then we didn't take any pictures at lunch, so I just did a lot of journaling about it. It had started raining, so we were trying to get over, like, where we were eating was just a block or so away from the aquarium, but it was raining. It wasn't even like drizzling, it was raining. So we were just kind of like marching to the restaurant at a pretty fast clip. And so I didn't get any pictures of the food or the restaurant or anything like that. So I just listed what it was called. And I don't think I listed exactly what we ate. I think we all had some sort of either a turkey burger or a regular burger or anything like that. And then I did take a picture of this really cool tile wall at the T station. The T station is what they call the T is what they call their subway. So I took a picture of my nephew outside of the subway stop. T-stop. Oh my goodness, my words are not working right now. Yeah, so I will definitely have to glue down all these letters. No big deal. That's not a huge deal. I didn't use them all very often. Because we had such an early start, we decided to go back to the hotel. We had gotten, when we were at lunch, we got word that our hotel room was ready. It was really nice. They texted me saying, your hotel room is ready. You can return it at any time. And it was nice because it was earlier than their check-in time. So we headed back to the hotel. My nephew had a bath. I had a shower. We all kind of like relaxed and took naps. And it stopped raining before we got out of the restaurant, which is nice. So we just relaxed for a couple of hours and before we headed out for dinner. And then I have a lot of journaling for dinner as well as some pictures of the food we had. Now, we had originally planned to eat at one place, and it turned out it was on a recommendation of a couple different people, actually. Only it turned out to be much more casual than we were expecting. It was also really, really hot in there. It was still like supremely hot, even at 5:30 at night. So we found a quieter, cooler restaurant that we thought was just more what we needed at that time period. We have no problem with casual dining, even like, you know, dives and stuff like that. We had just been so hot all day and tired at that point. We just needed something quieter and cooler. Okay. So once again, like I used one of the big pieces of paper that they look like they came as part of the kit with sketchbook, but I have no idea, as I said, because I inherited this. I don't know exactly how it came, but I just added a scallop border punch to the bottom. It's just something that I was like, you know what, I really want a scallop border punch, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So that's the Boston cream pie. And the joke, but it's cake, you know, so my nephew was like, it's cake. We're like, yeah, you didn't know that? He's like, well, no, I mean, I knew it was a donut, but he never actually seen actual Boston cream pie before. Just not something he, at a restaurant, we'd ever really eaten at. So it's kind of funny. So after dinner, we walked around and did some shopping. They had a Ghirardelli, so we all got milkshakes. Yum. And then this moves on to Sunday. And so I used the Snap alphas again. And then here I'm talking about in our room, we stayed at a fancy hotel. And they had it. It's hard to see because I was taking a picture of a TV screen. They had my name up here and just all like information, and you could check out through your TV, and you know, you could watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. It was not really a super fancy hotel. I was laughing because I was like, oh wow, it's when you bump up from the Holiday Inn. So here's a picture of the outside of our hotel, and then this is the breakfast we had on Sunday. And it's actually a really neat restaurant. It's called the Paramount. It's actually not far from our hotel. It's about 2 blocks from our hotel. And what you do is you go and you wait in line. And then, so this is a picture of where they cook your food. So you wait in line and you walk up, and then you order your food, and then you watch them cook your food. And then by the time your food is made, they have a table waiting for you, ready for you to go sit down. Apparently it's a very popular place because this is when we were leaving, and this is the line out of the restaurant. So, and we ate at 9, I took these pictures at 9:23. So, you know, and this, we didn't take us that long. So this is before 10 o'clock. There's already a huge line outside of the restaurant. Couldn't think of the word restaurant. Oh, sometimes. So these are the epoxy stickers I was talking about that are part of the Rise and Shine collection. And then, like I said, I used the washi tape. And all right, where we went on after breakfast was the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So we started off. Now here's one where I took one journaling card and did it for 2 different journaling things. So first I was talking about what we did after we got there. The first thing we did was we checked out they had a special collection of musical instruments throughout the ages. So we started there. And then after that, they have a rotunda. And at the top of the rotunda are these original mural pieces by John Singer Sargent. And they're really cool. And then they have mirrors positioned right below them, but like 3 stories below. So you can like look at them in the mirrors. And I was getting super dizzy doing that, but they also have close-ups of all the artwork on the wall with different explanations as to what each piece is representing. So I just fussy cut these from one of the Rise and Shine 6x6 papers from the paper pad, just to point out which journaling went with which photos. Okay. And then these are a couple more pictures from the museum. We've been laughing because one of the things, we walked through this one section of, they have recreations of different rooms from different time periods. So from all the way from colonial New England to the 19th century, the 18th century of Boston homes and country homes outside of Boston. And we were laughing hysterically because so many of those rooms look like my housemate's mom's house, because they live, my housemate grew up in a house built in the 1800s. It's been in her family since it was built. A lot of the furniture is from that era. So it was like, wow, we didn't have to pay money to come to the museum. We could have just stayed at housemate's mom's house. And then here we were joking around with my nephew making the same face that the statue is making. So, you know, we're trying to get kicked out of the museum by fooling around. And then I took a picture of my nephew and my housemate in front of this mantle, which I'm a big fan of woodworking. It sounds like so nerdy. I love woodworking and furniture and all that sort of art carving, wood carving aspect of art. So I was super impressed with this. This is one of the European rooms, and I did the word click. And then I'm also a big fan of glass art, so this is just one piece. Now, most of Boston will be in this book. I'm doing 2 layouts. I already did one, and it was just a photo of us. It's actually this photo of us, only in a 4x6, and I already made that layout. And then I'm also doing a layout about a lot of the art in the museum. Just different pieces that spoke to us, that we took pictures of, that, you know, stuff like that. This particular glass vase, bowl, whatever it is, because it was in front of a window to use the natural light, had such a different look from the rest of the artwork. I didn't want to, have it stand out that much. Not that I didn't think it was lovely, because I did. That's why I put it in my scrapbook. But I didn't want it to stand out as being better than the others. It was just, because of the different light, I just decided to put it in here. It also gives me a chance to mention that there is a layout in one of the yearly albums. And then this is the atrium where we ate lunch at the museum. So I'm just talking about the lunch we had, and that was the end of our trip because we needed to head home. So, but before we left, I took a picture of, this is a stairway to the section we didn't go to, which was the Asian art. We did the European and American. We did not do the Asian and the African. We just didn't have time. So I was just taking a picture of this, not to, just A, because I thought the symmetry of the stairway was lovely, and B, just to talk about how we didn't get to see all of the museum. It is something we want to go back and do, but we did have to head back. And then I just wrote a bunch about what we did afterwards. We stopped at a couple of stores. I wanted to hit a Tuesday morning, and we wanted to hit the Container Store before we headed home. And so that is my entire book. So I will go ahead, and this will go in here, and then it'll just get stored with, I have a couple of mini albums of trips we've done, so that will go with those. So I will just take it at its halfway point and try to not knock off these alphas while I'm doing this, because I can glue this in while this is in here. So there we go. And there is that. And there we go. So my Boston mini album is complete. This is probably the first time I have completed a mini album or an album about a trip before it's been a year of that trip. It's actually the first mini album of a trip I've actually ever finished. Go me! I finished my December dailies. I just don't finish my album trips. All right, I'm gonna spread you back out. Okay, thanks guys for joining me. If you have any questions, leave a comment below in the description box, or in the comment section below the description box is what I actually meant. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Sorry if I prattle on a bit. Bye!